What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Be Wise Podcast. I am your host, Chris Y. Wright. Almost forgot my name, Chris Y. Wright. Please like and subscribe. If you're checking me out, that would help me get more people who love me like you do follow the channel. So, as you know, things are heating up in Minneapolis. It's getting funny, actually. It's not funny when people get hurt or die, but from the church invasion by Don Lemon and that crew, people getting arrested, Don Lemon possibly being indicted, him spiking the football and having shows about this incident, calling himself a journalist. It's really just getting weird. But it got very weird when this young lady named Nazra Ahmed, 23-year-old St. Paul resident, she did a news conference, and it was Wednesday, I think. She said she was harassed and assaulted by federal agents during this incident. She was detained for 2 days, given no reason why. Of course, they're never given a reason why. She was eventually released. I'm sure it was an inconvenience. And she suffered a concussion during their arrest. How do you suffer a concussion being arrested? They're not knocking you upside the head. They could be pulling you out of a car, you bump your head, you were resisting, but you just don't get a concussion during a regular arrest if you comply. She still has the bandage over her right eye, but she spoke at this news conference and she talked a lot about how the Somali community is kind of like a food recipe.
I'm proud to be Somali. To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice. It's a lot. It's like it's an interesting thing. It's very hard to describe what it means to be Somali and what it means to be American, but it's like a cultural fusion. It's kind of like the bananas and rice. You know, it's you know, people don't think, oh, you can eat bananas with rice, but that's what it's like to be Somali and American. It's like that combination of banana and rice, but you're gonna get what I mean. Hello.
Bananas, that is like a SNL skit. That's kind of like an SNL skit. You wonder if they'll do it. They probably won't, because SNL can be pretty liberal, so they won't harass her or mess with her. But that's kind of funny. Being Somali is sort of like a banana and rice fusion. Okay, so what else happened? The 5-year-old boy was detained, and Department of Homeland Security officials said that the father of a 5-year-old boy abandoned the boy, actually, after running from ICE. Father and his boy out there, they're chasing the father. He runs and left the 5-year-old boy to fend for himself. So agents took the 5-year-old boy, goes to the house where he lives, knocks on the door. The father tells the wife, don't open the door, don't open the door. The wife refused to open the door. They had no reason to barge in. So they took the boy. Now, the family says that the agents were using the boy as a bait to draw them from their home. The agents was like, nah, that's just not the case. So of course this looks bad on the news. It looks bad on video. And of course the protesters, the opposition, they're going to always say, look at what they're doing. They're detaining 5-year-olds. That's just not how it went down. Here's the news story on this so you can get some more context.
Department of Homeland Security responded to backlash after ICE agents detained a 5-year-old boy in Minneapolis. DHS officials say the boy's father ran from federal agents, leaving the child behind. But his family is refuting those claims, saying the agents were using the boy as bait to draw family members from their home. Joe McCoy from our sister station in Minneapolis has new video that sheds some light on what happened.
New video obtained by Care 11 shows the heated moments as 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos and his father, Adrian Alexander Conejos Arias, were detained by ICE in Columbia Heights on Tuesday.
Where's your humanity?
Protesters and ICE agents yelling back and forth about what is taking place.
Hey, we're trying to take a kid! No, we're not. We're trying to get him with the mom.
Okay, first of all, ICE should never be in that situation where they're arguing with protesters. I'd be like, "You're taking that kid." I'd be like, "Can you get off the street?" That's kind of.
The Department of Homeland Security says Liam and his dad are now being held at a federal detention facility in Texas. This afternoon, the family's attorney and Columbia Heights School District leaders pled for the two to be released.
These are not illegal aliens.
Of course they aren't. They never are they? Man, these people need to stop with it. They're not, and no one's illegal. No one's wrong. We just got thousands and thousands of illegal aliens or undocumented citizens or immigrants, whatever you want to call them. I don't know why people get so twisted about a name, but let ICE do their job and figure this out. Let them figure it out. But you get schools involved, teachers involved, principals involved. Everyone's protecting the illegal aliens, but no one's protecting the city, the people in the streets. No one's protecting our borders. They don't want to do that. They prefer that we just let things go as normal. Follow the status quo. You know, my girl, Megyn Kelly, who I love, she had a lot to say about this, and J.D. Vance had something to say about this.
J.D. Vance was saying, what do they do? Do they just leave the child? Let him wander? Here's J.D. Vance on that.
The district here is alleging ICE agents detaining a 5-year-old. Are you proud of how your administration is conducting this immigration crackdown here in Minnesota right now?
Well, I'm proud of the fact that we're standing behind law enforcement, and I'm proud of the fact that we're enforcing the country's laws. But, you know, you asked a question about this 5-year-old kid, and I see this story, and I'm a father of a 5-year-old, actually, a 5-year-old little boy, and I think to myself, oh my God, this is terrible. How did we arrest a 5-year-old? Well, I do a little bit more follow-up research. And what I find is that the 5-year-old was not arrested, that his dad was an illegal alien, and then when they went to arrest his illegal alien father, the father ran. So the story is that ICE detained a 5-year-old. Well, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death? Are they not supposed to arrest an illegal alien in the United States of America?
Right. What were they supposed to do? Just, okay, I guess there's no one to take him because we are arresting this dad and can't find another parent willing to claim him. Fox News reports that they did not know whether anyone else was home at the time, that they had the child knock on the door to see if anyone else, family of his, was home, and that there wasn't. So we don't know exactly how that went down, but we do believe now that the mother was inside and that she wouldn't come out and that she wouldn't claim the child. And the ICE agents were now in a position of saying, will you take your kid? No. And then you heard the school board lady say, well, I was ready to take him. Mary Granlund is her name, school board chair for Columbia Heights Public School. She was talking about how the little boy, Liam's mother, was at the window watching and didn't open the door. She said, I would have taken the child. You're an idiot. They can't just give this little boy to anyone. All right, like, can you imagine? This is how we got in trouble under the Biden years, where he was allowing like some random adults to take custody of the children coming across the border with their families so that he could say that there wasn't separation, but there was separation. And some kids had been getting sent with their families across the border thinking that they'd have a better shot at just being left here, that we wouldn't bother them. And then we were putting them with child molesters. This is a story we covered here on the MK show. So they cannot just give the child, even to a school board member. By the way, they can be perverts too. I'm not saying this particular woman. I'm just saying in general, they don't know. And there are protocols. This is.
So do you know how we got here? Why we're even in Minneapolis? Because we had no government, talking local government, from the governor to the mayor, no one would cooperate. No one would cooperate. We had this this operation planned at the end of last year, told Minneapolis, told Minnesota, we're coming in. If we could get your police support, that would be great. Now we have a situation where ICE outmans the Minneapolis police force 5-1. We deployed between 2,000 and 3,000 federal agents on Minneapolis, between ICE and a couple of other Department of Homeland Security groups to the Twin Cities. And Governor Waltz and the mayor of Minneapolis, like they don't want anything to do with it. Sanctuary city, they want to follow the status quo. Do you realize how much money, economic money, that city has lost because of protest? It's crazy. DHS has reported over 3,000 arrests in the Twin Cities. High profile targets, prior convictions, homicide, sexual assault, gang involvement, child assault, child abuse. And the local government has no intention to help out. It's crazy to me. Crazy. There's going to be some collateral damage, I'm sorry, like the death of Renee Good. Going to happen. You're going to have some people that get injured, hurt, like Nazra Ahmed. It's going to happen. But as you can see, people getting dragged out their cars, they're resisting arrest, they're using their cars as weapons, trying to run over agents. Yeah, like I just said a minute ago, the economic impact. There was a research done, $80 million weekly reduction in Minnesota's economic output. And in some of the immigrant heavy neighborhoods, 80% of businesses remain closed in mid-January. What about those business owners? Don't you care about them? Protesters? They had a huge protest the other day. Thousands of people in the streets. Businesses had to close. Their lifelines cut off because people want to protest. School disruptions. Kids can't go to school because teachers and students fear for their lives. They don't want to go to school. They're worried about raids and protests and things like that. And they shouldn't have to do that. You're not going to raid the school. You guys are outrageous with your fears. But of course, that's what's going to happen. And I don't know. But one more thing before I go. Did you hear about Renee Good? I mean, I know she had this Pinterest page and they were talking about what a great housewife she was. And she was just a citizen. And listen, I don't want to put disparaging remarks about someone who's deceased. But at the same time, we need to know what we're dealing with when we're dealing with these protesters. Some of them are dangerous, and they're dangerous to federal agents. Listen to what was discovered by the New York Post about Miss Good.
And listen. The New York Post has an explosive report out today that talks about how this woman Good was an anti-ICE warrior who was part of a group of activists who worked to document and resist the ICE's crackdown in Minnesota. She moved to the city last year. She linked up with the anti-ICE activists through her 6-year-old son's woke charter school, which boasts that it puts social justice first and involves kids in political and social activism. She was a warrior. She died doing what was right. A mother named Lisa, whose child attends the same school, told the Post. They say that she was trained against ICE agents, what to do, what not to do. It's a very thorough training, says Lisa. Is it to listen to commands, know your rights, whistle when you see the ICE agents, and so on? She was doing everything right. Not last but not least, these Goods, Renee and her wife, had no love lost for President Trump, leaving their Kansas City, Missouri neighborhood to move to Canada after the 2024 election with plans to leave the country for good. They lived there for a few months before settling into Minneapolis, said a former neighbor. So this woman who's just She's just about the recipes, Jess. That's it. Just loves her recipes. Was a freaking ICE trained agitator.
Yeah, so this is where we are. All right. So anyway, yeah, we gotta I don't know. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. I just wanted to come on here talk about this Somali bananas and rice, talk about the 5-year-old kid, give you a little background on Renee Good. But other than that, you guys take care. I'll see you on the other side. Be good.